Good evening. Welcome to KQ. I'm Ken.
I'm Kevlon. Let go.
This is general gut feeling. This is general gut. Alrighty. Hey,
Yes, indeed.
KQ. Like, subscribe, share, do what it do. Hey, we need you. We need
We
you.
need you. We love you.
Do what it do.
Open your minds.
Open your heart. We love you. KQ.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome to KQ. My name is Kevlon. Ken. Your mic on, bruh?
There we go. All right. Hey, I'm Ken. Welcome to KQ. Yes.
Welcome back to the mean streets of Montgomery, where protests are going on again, and they've been going on for a long time, but they're not
That's
always
right.
fruitful. Hopefully, this one will be. So we'll see.
Yeah, buddy.
Interesting times, my brother. Interesting times in America today. We
Yes.
are on the precipice of another election, and we're gonna go and comb through some of the highlights that have been happening over the last few days and kind of deal with a little bit of perspective, and hopefully everything will start crystallizing to those who are not of, let's say, political astuteness.
Right. Yeah, we're trying to welcome them into the fold,
Yes, yes.
so to speak.
It behooves all of us as American citizens to participate in the political process. As you know, there have been many people that have died to give you a right to vote as a black person or as a person, let's say, women even. You know, people had to fight, and the reason is because voting is a precious thing, and like I said before, an educated populace is necessary for a democracy to thrive. So we're just doing our little part, giving our opinions, putting out information. Hopefully, you'll find it interesting, fun, and at the same time, it'll help shape the political landscape to a certain extent. But Ken, what's going on with you these days, man? You've been enjoying the political shenanigans.
My goodness. Once again, this is the best miniseries that I've ever seen in my life. I tune in every day on a daily basis just to hear brand new nuggets. And not to mention, old Donald Trump spoke with the black conservatives.
Mr. Espionage?
Mr. Espionage. We're going to change them from the black conservatives to the Afro-Maggots. Yes, sir. But he was speaking to him, and boy, I love the way the claps go, because when they start clapping, it was amazing to me how it was like kind of a slow clap, and then they realized they were supposed to be cheering. It was like confusion all at the same time. But either way, we got a little clip for you here, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Did they wear their shoes?
Oh man, there was a whole room full of golden shoes.
Did they click their heels together 3 times?
And they was getting ready to go.
Got paid.
They were getting ready to go play some hoops. All right, let me play this video, man, so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
The black people are so much on my side now because they see what's happening to me happens to them. The mugshot, we've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. I'm being indicted for you, the black population.
Donald Trump suggesting.
Oh yeah, he's being indicted for us.
So apparently, Ken, we can relate to him with his espionage charges, his rape allegations, and litigation and we can relate to him because we're black.
Right. Yeah. I know so many black people with 91 felony charges.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that makes it relatable. He said that's it's like he's like, you guys have been through so much, you've been discriminated against, and in a sense, I'm being discriminated against too.
He said it's a form of Navalny.
Oh Lord.
I mean,
Not Navalny.
so that I can't tell you how disgustingly insulting that is. As if to say, black people, you can identify black people because they're the ones who are likely to commit crimes or likely to be indicted. So therefore, when I get indicted, they can identify with me because of that. Now, not to mention the fact that he was the guy who put the ad out for Central Park 5. He was the guy that in the 70s was hit with discrimination lawsuits for discriminating against black people. He got caught with his pants down 2 different times for that. End up paying fines to the federal government. He's the one who ate dinner with Fuentes and Kanye West. Fuentes being the new head of the white supremacist movement in America, just recently at Magaloco. So, you know, he's got a lot of nerve to sit here and pander that way. I mean, I don't know, Ken. It's kind of rich.
It is kind of rich, and but you know, they were mad at Joe Biden for saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, because he knew what the alternative was. He wasn't telling the lies. Like, if you, I mean, I don't even see why people got offended by that when you hear what this man is saying. I like when he said, these lights are so bright in here. When I look in the crowd, out there in the crowd, all I see is the blacks, just the blacks. I've come so far. I said,
you
Lord,
know why he said that? Because he could see their teeth. You know, that was what he was saying. You know, he could see an outline of teeth. So that's from the old days back. You know, they used to have people sitting in the dark and all you see was teeth. You know, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Man, come on, there.
Oh
my goodness! And he said it to their faces, and they start.
Yeah.
Kind of wild.
He didn't say, you know, these people, African Americans, they're the people of such integrity. They're the people who fought and sustained themselves after all of this discrimination we've had in this country. And look at them now. They're making strides at lowest unemployment rate. This is why I identify with black people, because they persevere through everything and they make it through. He didn't say that. He said, well, you know, y'all Negroes, y'all prone to get indicted, so y'all can identify with me now, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
they got the t-shirts, $19.99. They're wearing my shirts.
When you look at it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they wear black people wearing his shirt so I can identify with him, because, you know, we've all got mugshots. So he's got a mugshot. So that makes it like similar. He's being persecuted just like we have with all of these 91 felony counts that he keeps racking up by doing black felonies.
You know felonies, right? You black, huh?
Yeah. It's the man. All right. So we've been having quite a few little elections popping off here. We just had the Michigan primary, which turned out kind of interesting. Michigan primary election results. Winner, Joseph R. Biden Jr. wins Michigan Democratic primary, balling at 81.1% of the votes. And remarkably, uncommitted ended up with 101,000. Now, what that was about was a bunch of people were protesting what they're calling a genocide over in Israel, and how the people in Gaza are being done, which, you know, I don't blame them. I mean, I probably wouldn't have protested in that manner. But yeah, I think Joe Biden is actually getting the cues from his own followers that, you know, that business is kind of unnecessary. The business of Netanyahu is what I'm speaking of. And enough is enough. They need to stop, you know, mass killing kids and all of that good stuff. And yeah, I agree with that. So that 101.
The one thing about that, though, I want to just add, when you look at it, you have to consider the fact that Joseph R. Biden is not the prime minister of Israel. Israel is waging war in Gaza, not America. So he's been begging, since the start of the conflict. As soon as Netanyahu was preparing to go in, he mentioned, look, we overdid things in 9/11. I don't want to see the same thing happen to you. He's been on this tip since the beginning. But just think about it, how hard pressed it would have been to tell Americans after 9/11, y'all be careful when y'all go into Afghanistan now. Don't do shock and awe in Iraq. It would have been kind of absurd. Not to say that it's the right thing to do for them to do, to the degree that the bombing is indiscriminate and killing a lot of civilians. Nobody wants that. We want a ceasefire at this point. I would prefer that they did a strategic attempt to go in and with special forces and things like that, and pick off the Hamas fighters and everything.
Yeah, like Fallujah. Do a Fallujah on them.
But the problem is Netanyahu, who also is indicted for corruption and fighting charges, just like Trump. He's the Trump of the Middle East. He's a right winger, and he's going in with a heavy hand. And unfortunately, he is not kowtowing to Biden's request for discriminant activity going on in terms of that war. So right now, we're looking at the possibility of a ceasefire coming up, and we're also pressing hard on the Israeli administration to basically curb their activity in terms of the killings. But this is a very tough and complex situation. And just so you know, as a measure of comparison, if Trump was the president right now, he'd be telling Netanyahu to go in and bulldoze the whole place. I mean, there would be
right. Exactly.
There would be nobody left. Okay.
Right, no doubt. That's what he wants. And he'd probably tell Putin to follow up behind him and do what they got to do too.
Get
all right.
Spot in there,
All right, so here we go with the primary results on the red side. We've got Donald J. Trump, 68.1% of the vote. Nikki Haley coming in at a remarkable 26.6%. Nikki Haley still holding it down. And what I've come to find out is a majority, they said 6 out of 10 Nikki Haley voters have said that they are never Trumpers, and there's nothing in the world that's going to make them vote for Donald J. Trump. So
exactly.
He can that. Not to mention our uncommitted. Oh, they got some uncommitteds too. 3. Yeah. Oh boy, 3%. Wow, how many was our uncommitteds?
I think around 11.
13%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that just shows you that the Democrats are the ones that really care. You know what I'm saying? 13% uncommitted versus what they have, 3% uncommitted. Yeah. They don't care. Not to mention all of those uncommitted people, when it comes down to the showdown for the big, they ain't voting for Trump either. Majority of them are not going to vote for Trump. So
this is the thing we keep hearing in media all the time, how much trouble Biden is in. He took 90% out in what was that, Arizona?
South Carolina?
No. It was they did
Iowa.
Another primary out west.
You talking about out in Iowa or something? Where was that? The Iowa caucuses?
No. They had I think it was Arizona where they've had a Democratic primary, and he took 90% of that one. Mm-hmm. No, 98%. I mean, it was something. It was almost 100%. So they're saying that Biden is in all this trouble, but he's running at a higher percentage than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is basically an incumbent when you look at it, because he is a former president in a primary, and the last Republican president in a primary. He was defeated by a Democrat, but he's back on the stage again. So he's sitting here struggling to get 60%, 70%, where Biden is running much higher percentages, even with this uncommitted movement. So it's not really a situation where Biden is sucking wind the way that the media is telling you. The media wants a horse race, so they're going to basically blow up any vote that doesn't go Biden's way, and they're going to minimize votes that don't go Trump's way and pretend that Trump is running away with them. But like I said, plenty of those people that didn't vote for Trump, they are never Trumpers. They'll never go back and add into Trump's votes. Trump is the one that's sucking wind. If you look at who's sucking wind between Biden and Trump, they have no illusions. Biden is pretty good, but we still have to keep showing up.
Yeah. Now, South Carolina, this is what I was saying. So South Carolina, we got Donald Trump, 59.8. Nikki Haley sitting at a smooth 40%. We'll go ahead and round that up. Scroll on down here to Dark Brandon, 96.2. South Carolina, balling. Marianne Williamson and Dean Phillips, nada.
Yes.
No
and in
delegate.
these areas, there's a high degree of Black population in these areas. A lot of the attention is going to people who are Black who are saying, oh, Biden didn't do a good enough job. I'm not voting for him. He hadn't given me reparations. I haven't gotten my unicorn with that farts glitter, so I'm not voting for him. So, but with the people that actually go and vote, they are strongly on the side of Biden. Black people who know issues, who go issue by issue and look at who's doing things for the Black population. We'll get into a couple of them later on, but they are actually showing up and doing the right thing, which is making sure that we don't turn this country over to a tyrant again and invite dictatorship into the United States government.
Right. Let's see here. Well, we got a nice little video. We're going to swing down to Alabama just for a minute. I know y'all don't like when we get local, but we're going to have to do local because this story can affect the rest of the world. This is your boy, Tommy the Tubbs Tuberville.
Yeah, this results straight from the Dobbs decision, which did away with Roe versus Wade. After 50 years of being the law of the land, Republicans had enough. They swindled their way to supermajority in the Supreme Court, and they pushed the case up through the ranks of the courts and got to the Supreme Court. And Dobbs was the one, and they did away with Roe v. Wade through Dobbs. So you know how Republicans love the fetus and hate the child, and there's embryos at risk whenever you're doing in vitro fertilization. Embryos are discarded all the time. And so there was a lawsuit that basically one of the people mishandled one of the test tubes and damaged some embryos damaged some embryos, and they got, and that made it up to the Alabama Supreme Court, and the Alabama Supreme Court decided that was a human being.
Yeah, embryos are people.
Yes, they're people. That was a grown, a fully developed, breathing person. So when they asked Senator Tuberville about it, we'll hear his response.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you have a reaction to the Alabama Supreme Court ruling on the fact that embryos are children?
Yeah, I was all for it. We need to have more kids. We need to have an opportunity to do that. And I thought this was the right thing to do. But
IVF is used to have more children. And right now, IVF services are paused at some of the clinics in Alabama. Aren't you concerned that this could impact people who are trying to have kids?
Well, that's for another conversation. People need to have that. We need more kids. We need the people to have the opportunity to have kids.
Senator, what do you say to the women right now in Alabama who no longer have access to IVF, or who will not, as a result of this ruling? What do you say to them?
Well, that's a hard one. It really is. It's really hard. Because, again, you want people to have that opportunity. And that's what I was telling her. We need more kids.
Lord. Do we now? Yes, we do. We need more kids. Cut off the doggone IVF. Oh boy, yeah, these people are brilliant. So
they've run themselves into a pickle. You know, they in vitro fertilization is for the purpose of having kids for those who are having trouble conceiving. His first response is, after he finds out the Supreme Court basically is trying to ban IVF, he says, "Yeah, I'm for the Supreme Court's decision because people should have more kids. I'm all for kids." Well, you big dummy, that's opposite.
Exactly.
He don't
They
even know
shutting down the clinics, fool.
Yeah, that's that same doggone senator who was fighting to make sure that there were no more replacements of officers throughout the ranks of our military. They were left unconfirmed, hundreds of them, because they had an abortion policy in the military that he wasn't very fond of. So he was holding up doggone promotions for over a year. Silly
Right.
dummy. That's who he is. Alabama, we need to do better than sending somebody there who doesn't understand the basics. Now, somebody got to him and they talked to him about what it is, what in vitro fertilization means. So now he's changed his tune, and they finally drug him to admitting that the Supreme Court in Alabama was dead wrong with that decision. They overstepped, as Republicans do when they get all controlling of women's bodies. That's what they do. They overstepped, and they did it again.
Yep. And they ain't finna stop now. They ain't stopping there. They're working on contraception, everything. They yeah, it's finna be on and popping. They're trying to kill all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Because the world needs more babies, except for IVF babies. All right. Now we got in Alabama. Good times, baby. Just like back in the civil rights days. Fantastic time. Oh, protest rally for in vitro fertilization is held at Alabama State House. That is right in the home, the capital,
2 days.
Alabama State House.
2
That
days.
happened 2 days. Yes. You can't cuddle an embryo. IVF made for a mom. Protect IVF. Now, here we go. This is the one I wanted to tell you about. Little Missy over here. God said, be fruitful and multiply. Genesis 9:7. So what she did was she's brave because she's actually a Christian, and she's out with an IVF t-shirt on doing her thing, just to let you know that that this ain't for this ain't just for the heathens.
Well, see,
All
this
right.
is a can of worms. The thing
Yeah.
is, you're for
IVF made me a mom. Wow. That's an IVF baby.
They believe that life begins at conception, and at that point they should step in and mandate that the federal government make that child be birthed. But in vitro fertilization, guess what? It's fertilization. So those are fertilized eggs as well. And so this puts them in a bit of a quandary. When you get to stepping into women's in the hospital rooms, like Raphael Warnock said, the hospital, what is it? The examination rooms is too cramped a space for a doctor, a woman, and the federal government. You put
Right.
put them in this space and let the federal government weigh in on individual decisions that women have to have with as far as their bodies. They're going to do with their bodies. There's a can of worms, and now they're stepping all through it, and it's kind of making them look like rather ridiculous, in my opinion. They need to make up their minds and let women basically control their own situations. That's the bottom line, And it's always a grown, stubborn, angry man sitting there telling women what they're gonna do with their bodies. That over and over. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Yep. That and Uncle Ivy.
Ain't she 80? She's
She
80.
80 years old. She tipping
right
the scale. She's like
So she's
79,
old,
80
right?
years old, man.
She's too old, right?
She's too old, man. Somebody ought to tell her to step down because her and her faculties. You know what they do.
Mitch McGiffley stepped down today. Mitch McConnell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Moscow Mitch, the original Moscow. Now they calling him Moscow Mike.
Moscow Mike and Moscow Mitch, man. They all Moscow.
Yeah, Moscow Daddy. Oh, we got some good news. Good news is on the horizon. Look at this here. Y'all gonna like
Back on
this.
the ranch.
Bow. 3.9 million people get student loan forgiveness as new Biden plan moves forward.
This was 2 days ago, right?
Yep, February 26th, 2 days ago. Another three. Boy, my goodness. That man
Another round.
is killing student loan debt for people, which is, I'm assuming that's a really good thing.
I tell you what, you ask those people who are getting their debts forgiven if it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna say. Donald Trump was the best president we ever had.
No. All right. We
You
got
know,
another quick reaction as well. As I'm sure most of y'all have heard, your president, Dark Brandon Biden, he went to Seth Meyers' show, one of my faves. I always post my Seth Meyers shows on the KQ Facebook. So I just thought this was kind of a little funny part. So I said, let me play it on today's show. Here we go.
I have one. I want to look to the future, but one last glance to the past. In 2014, you had just called LaGuardia a third world airport, and you had to fly into LaGuardia to come to this show. And the only reason I bring it up is LaGuardia, much to the chagrin of late night comics like myself, is a beautiful airport now. It's a beautiful airport. And it really does speak to what infrastructure spending can do. Sometimes it takes a long time, but it's really worth it. Have you been to LaGuardia recently?
I have, but it didn't take me a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
The last guy had infrastructure week every week.
Yeah, you did.
But we actually got it done. How can you be the leading country in the world with it ranked number 13 in terms of infrastructure?
It's not good.
Not possible.
Yeah.
Not possible. But that's not the only thing we're doing. We're getting a lot of things changed.
You got a lot of things changed, and I want to ask about that, but there's something that I've been it just speaks to the era we live in now. There's a Dark Brandon conspiracy meme, and this is something that you seem to have a lot of fun with. You've co-opted Dark Brandon. This is a yard sign, and do you enjoy playing around with the Dark Brand meme?
No, I resent the hell out of it.
Okay. Now, my favorite one recently is there are 18% of Americans, according to recent polling, have believe that you and Taylor Swift are actually working in cahoots. And after the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, you posted this on social media and you wrote just like we drew it up. Now, I have you on the hot spot here. Can you confirm or deny that there is an active conspiracy between you and Miss Swift?
Where are you getting this information? It's classified.
It's classified information?
That's classified
You won't share it with us?
I'm not gonna, but I will tell you, she did endorse me in 2020.
She did. I bet you might be wondering. You think it might come around again?
I told you it's classified.
All right. Yeah, that's my man, Dark Brandon, boy. Love him.
Yeah,
Love him
he still got something left in the tank. I mean,
oh yeah, I would say so.
He
Still
quick.
racking up the fun.
He wasn't sitting there pandering and talking about his indictments.
Right. Well, all right, my party people. We just wanted to pop in and say hello, let you know what's going on in the world and how these elections are rolling along. And remember, if you're black, you should like Donald Trump because he's got felonies just like you. My goodness.
And he's got wonderful shoes.
Wonderful shoes, like a leprechaun.
Just like you.
Just like you.
Don't you?
You black leprechaun maggots, you Afro-Maga. All right, man. KQ, welcome back.
Peace out,
Love
y'all.
you. Peace out. Peace out. Y'all
Guess
keep
on the next one.
alive. Keep
Subscribe,
doing what it
share.
do.
All of that stuff.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and share.
1, 2, KQ, a doodly-doo, can you dig it? And all I wanna do 1, 2, is just listen to you. KQ, policy 72, can you dig it? 1, 2, KQ. I do the can you dig it? And all I wanna do 1, 2, you wish just listen to you. Take you by the KQ. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Can you dig it?
1, 2, KQ. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Can you dig it? dig it?